So I can't see.
It's a tough
I,
corner for him, sir.
it's very, very difficult.
Yeah. So, but one thing that I'm noticing is that what he's doing is an era of threats. And I'm already starting to see countries laugh at it. Mexico played a nasty one, didn't allow his aircraft to land the first day. Second day, they said, Acha, theek hai, hala, koi baat nahi. Denmark, whatever said and done, the first international phone call he's had after becoming the president, for which it's been acknowledged that this is the first international phone call, has been a disaster. Right? Whatever you say. So the era of threats are over. People aren't going to listen to it anymore, and that's something I personally feel he's forgotten to realize, and he's forgotten to comprehend the change in the world order that has taken place. What do you say to that?
Well, I would say that in the case of Mexico, uh, just the Mexican president has been pushing back because when Trump has changed the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, she says I can start calling North America as Mexican America.
California.
Previous Mexican president was even more outspoken against the United States. On the other hand, if he does impose 25% tariffs on Mexico, Mexico will face an economic disaster. Uh, so Mexico will try to assert its sovereignty, but how much backing it will get from other countries, I'm not too sure. Remember, when it came to NAFTA, Trump in his first term insisted on revising NAFTA, and both Canada and Mexico played ball, and NAFTA was revised. So up to some point, Mexico will resist, but I don't think the rest of the world will make an issue out of that, and we'll leave it to the North American states to sort it out amongst
No, but
themselves. So
generally speaking, the kind of threats that he's coming up with, he's literally threatening everybody left, right, and center. I'll put tariffs on you. I'll put sanctions on you, and this and that. How much do you think the global South, even the middle powers for that matter, will even accept that? Because one fine
but
day people are going to say, okay, try it. Let's see.
let me come to Denmark.
Hmm.
Uh, the astonishing thing is that Denmark has got no support within the European Union. They are flustered. They don't know what to do.
Yeah,
They are
catching weekly.
like this. But has van der Leyen said anything? The French president, the French foreign minister made some kind of a noise, but in a very general way. Germany doesn't have a government at the moment, but the German Olaf Scholz also made some very perfunctory noise. So neither European Union nor the principal European powers have given support to Denmark because of the odd situation that that is there, where Greenland is not part of the European Union. Uh, but nevertheless, it is a territory which belongs to a EU member. And if the position of Europe has been that there cannot be change of maps after 1945, and that's why they object to what's happening in Ukraine. But on the Western side, their own NATO partner wants to change the map of Europe. So where do this? So the point is that Europe has shown its geopolitical weakness and
Hmm.
and in a sense irrelevance uh, uh, when it can't protect its own sovereignty. Uh, as has been exposed in the case of Denmark. Insofar as tariffs is concerned, look, everybody is very concerned. Even in India, you must have seen the debate in our newspapers uh, about how it will affect us, how we can cope with this. There was this news that uh, all the concerned departments of government of India have got together to assess what is it that can be done in case these tariffs are imposed, uh, and what strategies India must evolve. So there is half an acceptance that this is going to happen. The,
Hmm.
but how do we then cope with it? And do we then embed it in a larger discussion of a trade agreement with the United States? And there, the US side, Trump has given an opening by the directive given to the USTR that he should, that the USTR should begin discussions with countries with which United States has a trade deficit to see how this can be resolved as part of a trade agreements. So this gives us an opening. With Europe, there will be a huge fight. In
Yeah.
the past also, this has happened. Uh, but the point is that if he slaps enormous tariffs on French champagne and wines and this and that, the French will get flustered immediately. Uh, you remember what Trump said during his election campaign about his conversation with Macron,
Mm.
when the French had imposed some tax on their companies, on their high tech companies. He said, I rang up Macron. He says, and I told him, Emmanuel, you have 1 hour to reverse your decision because I have the document in front of me where I'm going to impose, I forget the figure, so much tariffs on your cognacs and wines or champagne. Uh, he said within half an hour, Macron came back and said, I'll reverse the order. So it'll be difficult for Europe, but there'll be a big fight. There's no doubt about it. Now,
So here the issue
China,
is, pardon me
China, hmm,
if you don't mind, uh, it's about counter tariffs as well. The last time he did that to India, we put counter tariffs. Won't this hurt his own economy? He doesn't produce anything anymore.
well, a couple of things. One is that China is very worried that if he imposes tariffs on Chinese goods at the level which he is talking about, then they'll face a very serious problem because their own economy, internal economy, is not doing well. It's not moved sufficiently into a consumption-oriented economy. It still is an export-oriented economy, and this got huge. Yes, they can hit back by denying certain good technologies and products to the United States, which they have already announced. But they're very fearful that this will increase the uh, economic problems that China faces. Uh, and of course, if there's a kind of a tariff war which goes on, it'll hurt everybody's interest. Insofar as America is concerned, he has a certain conception that I'm going to create an external revenue service, and the money that flows into U.S. coffers as a result of increased tariffs would be enormous and would be helpful in adjusting the trade deficits that it had. He has a certain view of things. Now, you are right in saying that this is not going to help anybody. Uh, but at the same time, he thinks that whatever he may have to pay additionally for imports, because other countries may raise tariffs, that he will get compensated by uh,
Some other country.
by the tariffs that by the money that he receives as a result of high tariffs, because United States is the biggest economy. It is an open economy. It imports enormously, and therefore he gets a lot of money. Now, whether the sums that he has done or his advisors have done make sense or not, I can't say. But this is the sort of thinking that he seems to have.